What's going on, everyone? Smith here. I just want to make a quick update video for the Eliminator. I know it's been a while since my last Eliminator video, and there's a couple of reasons why. First, the weather. It's been really too cold to ride, and second, probably more importantly, I broke my ankle at the beginning of the year. It was like New Year's. And I wasn't doing anything cool. I just had a really bad fever and I passed out. And when I came to, my ankle was broken. So I've been laid up for the past month and a half, give or take. And I've just recently gotten well enough this past weekend. I was finally able to take the bike out again. And man, did I miss riding. Holy smokes. That's, good thing I live in a southern state. Georgia... Winter is pretty short in Georgia. I mean, it's not like Florida where it's like, what is winter? But it's pretty short. So you get a much more lengthy riding season. I feel bad for people who ride up north. I guess they probably ride in the cold, which I did a couple of times. But man, like bundling up and then having to take all that gear off when it finally gets warm out, it is such a hassle. It really brings down the whole experience and makes it more trouble than it's worth. So, some days I would really just want to ride my motorcycle and I would do it, but a lot of days I'm like, I don't want to wrap myself in a bunch of stuff just to have my backpack stuffed to the brim with all kinds of nonsense. So, as for the Eliminator, not a whole lot's changed. That was the other thing kind of getting behind me not really making an update video. It's like, what do I even say? I'm not sure. It's pretty much everything from my previous video still applies. We're at 1,000 miles. I still absolutely adore this bike. I guess I would say properly, like officially, I would recommend this bike to anyone, especially if you're like new or you're just getting back into it, right? This is a great bike that's going to keep you, it can keep you from getting a ticket, I should say, It has some giddy up and go to it, but it's not as crazy as at least what I hear from those 1000s and those sport bikes and whatnot. Now, worth reminding everyone, this is the largest motorcycle I've ever ridden. And, before this I was just on dirt bikes. So whenever you hear me talk about this bike, just keep all of that in mind. Like, it is easy to go fast on this, but it's also, easy to go slow, if that makes any kind of sense. You can keep pace without, like, feeling like you're really being held back terribly. I don't have a problem going 55 and just kind of cruising along there. That's fine with me. And, me deciding on this bike, I was looking at it in the driveway today, and man, I still am like, wow, I can't believe I have this thing. It's a very nice looking bike. And I was on the fence between, because a lot of people were recommending to me to get a bigger, like a 650 or something like that, especially a guy my size. I'm 6'3", 230 pounds. And people are like, no, you need like a 650 or something, or like a Vulcan, or a Honda Shadow. And I was looking at those as well, but honestly, they just didn't look as good as this. The Shadow looks pretty good, let's be real. The Phantom, very nice, but I like this one a little bit more, I gotta say, And the price range did play a little bit of a factor in there, but mostly it was about style, and it was about just like maneuverability, kinda. I was looking at videos where people were on, I want to say it was the Shadow, and they were taking these corners, and like even on tight corners they'd be dragging a peg, like just regular tight corners. If they turned a little too tight on those tight corners like these right here, you'd be dragging a peg on the Phantom if you turned a little too sharp. And so that kind of, and the Vulcan, like, no disrespect to the Vulcan riders out there, it looks like a very dependable, very reliable bike, but it's not the prettiest bike out there. We'll just leave it at that. So, yeah, I settled on the Eliminator. And obviously I was also looking between the Rebel 500 and but that one just sat too low. As soon as I sat on the Rebel, I was like, there's no way I'm getting this, because my knees are all scrunched up. Whereas the Eliminator really feels like a one-size-fits-all, because it fits me very well. And by all accounts it shouldn't, because it'll fit guys way shorter than me also very well. So I should feel all scrunched up, or my knees should be hurting or something, but I could see someone complain about it, but it really hasn't bothered me one bit. It didn't bother me at the dealership. It hasn't bothered me since I got it. I don't feel scrunched. I just, I don't know. If you're used to a more like cruiser pegs where your feet are kind of out in front of you and then going back to this kind of standard riding position, that might bother you. But it really hasn't bothered me. So I don't know what to tell you. Other than this is a nice bike, and I'm very, very happy with my purchase. And I see myself holding on to this thing for years. It seems like one that I'm going to keep and then hopefully pass down to my kids one day. But you might have noticed my sleeves. And I got a proper jacket and pants and boots now, so I'm all geared up properly now. Whereas before, I just had my gloves and my helmet and a hoodie and some jeans, but I wasn't wearing proper safety gear. When my folks heard that I got a motorcycle, they're like, "You're not allowed to buy anything for it. We're gonna get you stuff for Christmas." So they did. That worked out. That worked out really great, and I became really easy to shop for Christmas. So definitely shout out to my folks there. They really set me up. But I still need to get new mirrors. I'm thinking about getting those ones that kind of go under the handlebars. I've seen a lot of bikes with those, and that looks way better. And I like the idea of it just being completely clear across the top of the handlebars. That sounds nice. It kind of goes with that whole theme. It's, I'm kind of against windscreens because of that. That would be the other thing I would kind of want for like longer trips, is maybe a detachable windscreen. Like, part of me hates the notion of having a windscreen because it's, something coming between you and the road. But at the same time, you're on the highway for a while, you really get blasted with that wind. That wind will hit you. So that's the give and take of having this kind of trim back bobber style cruiser thing going on here. It feels really good. You really get that freedom feeling where it's just, bare bones, two wheels, your engine, you, and the road. I really like that. But also, if you're going to be on the highway a lot, it's going to be windy. It's going to be very windy. So. But yeah, no major complaints, other than the minor stuff. The exhaust, the exhaust is kind of growing on me. The look of it, I'm going to have to change, but I might not get a much louder exhaust. I'm still a firm believer that loud pipes save lives, but I do like, because I got to leave early for work in the morning, I do like that I'm not bothering my neighbors as much with this bike, as opposed to like when I would get the Hawk started in the morning. It really felt like I was waking everybody up. So I don't know, we'll see. Maybe something just like a little bit louder, because it is awful quiet, but not too much louder, I don't think. It's a good sound. So that said, that about covers it. Like I said, there's not a whole lot to say. It's a good bike, and obviously different strokes for different folks and whatnot, but if you're a naked bike guy, you want a naked bike. If you're more of a cruiser guy, you want maybe more of a cruiser proper. This is kind of a mishmash between a sport bike and a cruiser, and that's really what I like about it, is I'm kind of getting a little bit of both. I got more of a comfortable, relaxed seating and everything, and a fast bike, but also it's very nimble, very agile, and I can really just kind of bob and weave through turns and traffic and whatnot. And I just feel very planted and just in control of everything because of how light the bike is and how fast it is. So it's a very nice feeling, very reassuring. So I would definitely recommend it, but like I said, it's the only street bike I've ridden, so keep that in mind. You know, definitely get a second opinion. Don't just take my word for it. Yeah, I'm having a blast though, and there will definitely be more footage coming down the road of, you know, trail riding with the Hawk and, you know, cruising down the road with this. But I just wanted to make a quick update video because I hadn't posted in forever, and, you know, just to kind of assure people, like, hey, you know, my opinion on this bike hasn't really changed. I still like it very much. The mirrors still annoy me, but we're gonna fix that soon. Now that I'm well again and the holidays have passed, right? And yeah, we'll get a lot more riding done this year. So I think that's gonna do it for me. Stay safe out there. I'll see you in the next one.